Okay, so video check. I'm just seeing how hard it is to upload videos to YouTube. Okay, I think I have it worked out. I've downloaded a video editing thing on my phone, so I can hopefully edit all this together and make something of it. So I've been listening to one of Tim Ferriss's latest podcasts with Shay Carl. I'd never heard of before, but he talked a lot about how he's a super successful vlogger, and yeah, I don't know, it's inspired me to finally do this. It's a pretty simple thing to do, and I'll keep it simple for myself. I'm just going to film something. I'm going to film bits of the day as the day goes. At the end of it, just pick the videos, stick them together, keep it super fucking simple so that it doesn't take any time, and I get to say what's on my mind as it's on my mind and then upload it. That's a good idea. Already nervous about it all and feeling like this is, I don't know, I have all the usual doubts and I guess insecurities. No one cares what I say, but the thing that keeps me sort of going ahead regardless is the fact that I feel like Donald Trump has changed everything, because who cares whether what I've got to say matters or any of that sort of stuff if Trump's up there getting a massive audience to speak his idiotic mind, then, you know, doesn't matter. It already feels stupid. Doesn't matter. I keep saying doesn't matter. I'm gonna have to get over this, aren't I? But I think the only way I can make this happen is if I do it anyway. And by that I mean just fucking talk and get better at talking and talk to the little camera there. It's just one of the hard things is you want to look at yourself, but that's not what the camera is. But whatever. So the exciting thing to happen today, well, it's not exciting yet, it's terrifying, is Australia just voted. We are having a federal election, and I thought the Liberal Party was leading, but then you look at the Australian Electoral Commission website and the Labor Party. Look at that. The Labor Party is in the lead. I'm not a big fan of the Labor Party, but they're not the Liberal Party. I can't tell you how exciting that is, that maybe the Liberal Party's gone. The party that has systematically taken us from the third strongest economy down to one of the bottom of the major wealthy countries. The countries that systematically cut back our welfare and our Medicare and continues to torture children in offshore detention and taken us from one of the world leading environmental countries to one of the bottom, all that sort of stuff. Stuff that doesn't matter at all, just the welfare of people and the planet. But large corporations got tax cuts, so, you gotta take the good with the bad. Anyway, this is not going to be politics, and I will do my best not to talk about politics too much. I will talk about politics a fair amount though, because I care about quite a lot of things. My main ones being guaranteed universal basic income. Care a lot about that. I realized a long time ago that the one thing that I know for sure with politics is that politics is hard. And so I don't have all the answers. No one does, obviously. I probably have virtually none of the answers. All I know is that anyone who thinks they have the answer is probably wrong, because it's hard. I mean, like, really hard. Every time you think you've got a fantastic answer, you probably haven't thought of the circumstances that are outside of your sphere of experience, and how it's funny, every now and then I slip out of being present and become self-reflective, and I get lost in my thoughts, and I've got to get better at not doing that, because it screws me up when I'm giving presentations, which is one of the things I have to do now. Well, I have for a while, but I mean specifically right now I have 2 weeks till demo day at Indie Bio, and I have to present. So I need to get up and present in front of 400 investors and not become self-aware of my thought process and losing my lanes. Anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. Guaranteed basic income. Politics is hard, so I don't have the answers, but because we don't have the answers, and because no one does, and because no matter how clever you think a solution is, it's almost certainly not going to be perfect. I don't think there are any perfect answers. But I think that doesn't mean that it isn't worth pursuing politics. It doesn't mean it isn't worth trying to have an impact, trying to make the world a better place. Because even though you can't get perfect, there is one thing you can do, and that is make the world less terrible. I think this concept of like less bad, less terrible is incredibly important, because it's it's how you get better at things. It's how things improve. Stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to know the answer, and start realizing that finding out when you're wrong is even more important than finding out when you're right. It's far more important than being right. It's not about being right. It's about just finding out how to make yourself less wrong. And in politics, it's how to make the world less terrible. It's about how to hurt fewer people and things like that. So when it comes to politics, I definitely don't have the answers, and I definitely don't know right. But sometimes you can see some policy and you go, that's just fucking wrong. That's terrible. One of my big ones on this front, and this took me a lifetime to come to this conclusion, is that the war on drugs is just fucking wrong. Like, I mean, it's terrible. It is one of the worst policies any government has ever implemented. And I can back that up with so much fucking data. Because all the things that you associate with drugs and how bad drugs are, most of those consequences come from the war on drugs itself. They come from the fact that you have made it a black market underground phenomenon where people can't go anywhere for help, where people are buying shit from criminals, and those criminals run around with guns because they've got nothing to protect their business interests other than force and violence. So gangland shootings, people being shot over drug deals, people overdosing because they don't know what they're buying, they don't know how to use it, they aren't taught how to use it, they aren't given anywhere to go when they get in trouble. All of these things are because of the laws, not because of the drugs. For every negative thing you ascribe to a drug is true of the medicines we use. I mean, people that are in car accidents or have serious pain issues will be given heroin in hospitals. Yes, it's called something different, but it's heroin. They are given prescribed medicated heroin in hospitals. And amazingly, none of those people get them out of... Well, not none of them. Some of them do get opioid addictions, usually when they're prescribed it and get stuck on it for many, many months. But the vast majority of people don't come out heroin addicts. You break the physiological tolerance and the physiological... I don't want to use the word addiction, because addiction isn't physiology. Addiction is a mental phenomenon. It is primarily, and I'm no expert on this issue, so I don't want to get too bogged into the details, but most addiction is a behavioral addiction. It's the fact that you can become addicted to gambling sort of proves that, demonstrates that. Yes, there are physiological hooks to many drugs. Nicotine, for example, has a huge one, and so when you try and cut it, it hurts. You're physically in pain. But that's easy to overcome. Like, go climb a mountain and you'll put yourself through pain. Anyone can go through pain, and it comes and goes, and we do this to ourselves all the time in various forms. The hard thing to quit about nicotine, smoking, is the same thing as why it's hard for me to quit drinking Coke, is because I like it, and when I go out, I want to have something nice, something that tastes good. Smokers want to hang out with their friends and do that habit that they do, which they associate with having fun and having a good time and relaxing. It is a sociological, psychological phenomenon. That's what addiction is, and that's the hardest part of addiction to overcome. Anyway, I've gone on way too many topics. But it seems that I can rant at a camera for minutes at a time, so there's something here, I guess. This is actually what I want to do with this vlog, is just rant about whatever's on my mind. I do not expect anyone to watch this, I really don't. But that's okay, because no one's going to watch it, so I can make a fool of myself. And hopefully other videos will have more fun and do more stuff, which is in the moment. I don't know, but yeah, there's lots of content. I said I'd come back to the fact that I'm at Indie Bio, so I'm starting this at a really weird time in my life. I have a 2-year-old son. He's not here right now. There's some of his toys and clothes and stuff. He is not here, nor is my wife, because they just got on a plane this morning. Oh yeah, there's a Bernie sign. Guess who I support in America? Because they're going back to England for a while I do this Indie Bio thing. So what's IndieBio? It is the world's largest biotech accelerator. What's an accelerator? An accelerator is sort of a co-working space with mentorship, usually money involved, and that's what IndieBio is anyway. So I have a startup. I started a startup. I pitched a startup to IndieBio. They accepted my business. The business moved into the IndieBio co-working space, received funding. The total package is $250,000 of funding for the business. We have 4 months with intense mentorship and supervision and connections and a powerful network and the lab space, office space, all this sort of stuff. And we have to use that time to build a business, build the science, build the business, bring it all together, make deals, make product, bring together a pitch deck, which is a 5 to 7 minute presentation, which we will get up on stage and present in front of reporters and investors and convince the investors to give us money and the reporters to tell the world about our business. That's basically what an accelerator is, and IndieBio is the world's largest one of them to deal with biotech companies. So every company in IndieBio is biotech in one form or another. My company is we're building better health outcomes for babies who aren't breastfed. We're doing that by making human breast milk proteins using biotechnology. We're using microorganisms as little factories to make human protein so that we can make infant formula with human protein in it, because baby humans need human milk. Baby cows need cow milk. So that's the short version of it. There'll be more about that later, and I'll probably do some more videos in the lab so you can see the IndieBio labs and what that. But because right now I have 2 weeks till demo day, it's getting pretty intense. There's a lot of work on. The second I finish filming this video, I am heading back into the office. It's a Saturday, by the way. I'll work today, I'll work tomorrow. The only reason I'm not there already is because I had to drop my wife and son at the airport so that they could go and get some help from Vanessa's mum, because Vanessa has chronic fatigue syndrome, quite a serious form of it. She suffers from post-exertional malaise. I can get more into that in another video. Basically, she's sick, can't take care of Leonardo, who's 2 by herself, so needs help. And we had some help here with us, but they've gone home, and now Vanessa's going to her mum's to get help from her mum, and I am focusing on raising $2 million for my business. So it's a crazy intense time. I'm living in the middle of San Francisco while we do that, so I can just focus on working. And over the next 2 weeks you may be able to see what my life is like a little bit. I might just upload this video straight and see how it goes, and this can be a first video which I expect 0 views of. Don't watch this video. Oh my god, that was 13 minutes! Okay, I have to get these shorter. I have to get these much shorter. I'll get better at that, I promise. But I also forgot to mention the fact that in this election I had at least 3 friends running for Parliament in the House of Representatives in Australia, and it's so exciting because they're running for the Science Party, which you can imagine I'm sort of a fan of, being in biotech and a philosopher by heart. And there's no philosophy party, but science is just a branch of philosophy. Honest, deal with it, scientists. Meow Ludo Meow Meow. I was going to say his whole name, Meow Ludo Disco Gamma Meow Meow. He's got quite a bit of attention because of his name. Was running in Grainer. I won't bother going through all the details of it, but Meow, Nathan, and Peter, but all of them are running for the House of Representatives. They did amazingly. I'm so proud of them. I'm so excited that I have 3 friends running for the House of Parliament. James Jansen's also a friend. He's running in the Senate for the Science Party, and he's done incredibly well as well. So that's so cool. Keep it up, guys. And they've actually inspired me. Next election, I'd consider running myself, depending where I am at that point in time. Depends how the business goes, depends what country I'm living in. So many variations and points of uncertainty in my life. It's hard to make plans, but watching them do this has just been incredibly inspiring and exciting. And I love the fact that just almost random people, but inspiring people, amazing people like Meow, Nathan, and Peter have all done amazing things already. So they're not just random people going, oh, we're going to run for Parliament. They're really impressive people, but I can be an impressive person too, watch me. The other reason I'm making this little add-on is not just because I forgot to mention that, but because this is the first video I'm trying to figure out how to make this work, and part of that is the ability to film lots of videos throughout the day and then stitch them all together and upload them to YouTube without missing a beat, because I don't want this to be a job. This can't be a job. I don't have time for it. I have enough time to rant at the camera for as long as it takes me to rant my mind so that I can brain dump, because there's shit in there apparently, and see what happens.